Hey guys, in this Effect House tutorial, I want to show you the basics of 2D physics here in Effect House. So we will create this project, so when we tap on the screen, this ball falls down and collides with the second ball and then falls down. So yeah, let's create some 2D physics here in Effect House. Hey again, so let's do some basic 2D physics here in Effect House. I have already loaded a PNG file here into my Effect House project just to show you how this is done, but of course you can use any other texture you want. The first thing we will do is to add a 2D object to our project. So for this we go to our hierarchy and here we click on the plus to add a new object. Here we go to 2D and then I will add a 2D screen image. So this is our 2D screen image and now we will set a texture for this. So we select it on the left hand side and on the right hand side we set the texture from the default texture to our texture we have imported to our project. Then I will also change the size of this screen transform because at the moment it is set to 720 in width and 1280 in the height. So I will change this to 722. Now it's a squared picture, but a little bit too big. So I will change the 2D scale from 1 to 0.3. And now we have a small picture in the middle of our screen. Here in the scene, we can change the position of it. And I will set it here on the upper part of the screen. And now what I want to do is to make this object just fall down with gravity. To achieve this, we have to add a rigid body to our screen image object. So to add a component, we select our screen image on the left hand side, then go to the right hand side to the inspector, and then we can scroll down. And on the bottom of the inspector, we can find the Add Component button. When we click on it, we see a lot of components we can add, but we are interested in the 2D physics components. And here we can select different colliders, and we can also add this rigid body. So when we click on rigid body 2D, when we add this, we can already see that our ball is falling down, and you can also see in the inspector that the ball got a rigid body component to it. And here you can change the mass, the gravity scale, the external force, and also change other parameters. I don't want to get more in depth here. We will do this in another tutorial, but now you can restart your filter and now you can see again that the ball is falling down. Now I want to change that the ball falls down when I tap on the screen, so it stays at the position, and when I tap on the screen, it falls down. For this we have to disable our rigid body component here on the inspector. Here is a little checkbox next to rigid body 2D. We can just disable this and now the ball stays in place. Now we will do a little bit of visual scripting. So when we tap on the screen, the rigid body component gets enabled and then the ball falls down. So for this, we go to the visual scripting, click on the plus, and here we search for screen tap. This is our trigger. And then we need also a set enabled node. So we also create this set enabled. This needs a component input, and of course we will use our rigid body 2D component. So go to the inspector, and next to rigid body you can find this little circle. When you click on it, you can click on get rigid body. And now we can just connect this output to the component input, and of course the next output from the screen tab gets connected with the enter input of the set enabled. And here we have to change the enabled to on, so we have to check this checkbox. And now when we tap on the screen, our object falls down. Before we continue with this tutorial, I wanted to mention my Patreon account, where you can find a lot of Effect House and Land Studio projects, which you can just download and use it as a starting point for your own projects. Thanks to all my Patreons who already support this channel, and if you also want to become a Patreon, just go to the description of this video and yeah, follow the link. Thank you, and let's continue with this tutorial. So this was the rigid body component, and now we also want to add a collider. So we will add here another screen image with a collider, and we will also add a collider to this object. So when it falls down, it collides with the other object, and then yeah, looks like there is physics involved. So let's do this. The first thing is that I add another screen image. So I go again to add object, 2D screen image. Yeah, I will change the size again to 720, the height of it, and also the scale. I will set it now to 0.4. And of course, I also change the texture to the same bar. So now I will set this here down. And now we will add a collider component to this object. Because at the moment you can see when the bar falls down, it doesn't collide with this object. To do this, we select the second screen image we have created, then go to the right hand side, scroll down again at the inspector and click here again on Add Component. Then again to 2D Physics, and here we can select the type of the collider. The ball is a circle, and that's why I will choose the circle collider. If you have another form, you can choose a box collider or play around with any of those other colliders. So I will choose the circle collider. And now when we select here our image, we can see here in our scene that there is this collider. But yeah, this is the green circle, but it has to be a little bit bigger, so the circle is also around the ball. So I go to the screen image and then scroll down to the circle collider 2D, and here I can change the radius. And I will change it to 10. Now you can see the green circle is almost at the edge of our ball, but let's try 11, a little bit too much, maybe 10.4. That already looks nice. But now when I tap on the screen, the ball falls down. It still isn't colliding with this ball, because yeah, our ball on the top also needs a collider object component. So we select our screen image, the ball on top, go again to the inspector, scroll down to add a new component, 2D Physics, and it also gets a circle collider 2D. It's also very small again, so we will also set this radius, let's check, to 10.4. Now this looks good. And now when I tap on the screen, the two balls are colliding. Now it is exactly in the middle, so physics is going down the gravity. To show it to you a little bit better, we can change this position a little bit to the left. And now when I tap on the screen, the ball is colliding and it rolls down and then falls down. You can also change here at the 2D collider other things like the offset, then it's not in the middle. I can show it to you. When I set X to 4, the collider here in the scene is going to the right side, but this should be at 0 here. Then you can change the show collider. It's just if the collider is shown here in the scene, and you can change is tangible or it's not tangible. Yeah, so when I uncheck this checkbox and now when I tap again on the screen, it's like there is no collider. So yeah, when you want to apply physics, you should have this enabled. So yeah, this was more or less the basics for 2D physics here in Effect House. So we have this rigid body here and also a circle collider, and here we have an object with just a circle collider, so it stays in its place. So yeah, when I tap on the screen now, the ball falls down and rolls down. One last thing I want to show you, when we go to our ball on top and then we go to the right hand side to the rigid body, I already said here are a lot of settings you can change. For example, when we set the external force for Y to 10 and then we tap on the screen, the ball slowly moves up because now there are two forces, the gravity down and the external force who sucks the ball up in the air. So if you make this higher, for example for 20, and now when you tap on the screen, the ball goes up much faster. So you can just play around with different forces here. Just play around with all those different settings, and you will get to know how the physics work here in Effecthaus. If this tutorial was helpful for you, give this video a thumbs up. If you have more questions about 2D physics or 3D physics, or if you want to know something else here in Effecthaus, let me know. So just type it into the comments, then I will make a tutorial about it. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye!